Welcome back to Better Weeks Ahead, everybody. Thanks so much for choosing to tune in again at Week Speaks at the YouTube channel. Thank you so much to the people who subscribed this week. And I always hated this part in YouTube videos, but now I'm saying it. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe button, please do so. I would really appreciate your support. So a couple nights ago, I talked about, again, to review the 3 F's: family, fitness, and fate. I talked about that's faith with a TH, not fate. I talked about the friendship portion of family, right? The brotherhood, the wolf pack, I called it, and the importance of that. So continuing with the 3 F's, tonight I want to talk about fitness, which includes diet and exercise. Quick disclaimer: I'm not a medical doctor, a psychologist, a psychiatrist. I'm not a personal trainer. I'm not a nutritionist. This is not medical or nutrition or strength training advice by any means at all. This is just sharing with you what I'm doing and what's worked for me. Also, another quick disclaimer: I'm going to be sharing a little later in this video some products that I have here with me that I use. I don't get any money from these companies, and I'm absolutely not trying to sell you any of these products at all, under no certain circumstances. So just wanted to make that clear. Again, these are just products that work for me. And again, as always, talk to your doctor or your health provider, before you make any big decisions around supplements in your health. So let's jump in. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about diet because, quite frankly, I think it's a little boring and I'm not very knowledgeable on nutrition. I want to get more into the strength training and some other physical fitness things. So I'll just say this quickly on diet. So I have a diet that is high protein, high lean protein, low carb, definitely not no carb, and high in plant fats. So I've tried them all. I've tried keto, carnivore, vegan, vegetarian. None of those worked for me. I'm an omnivore. I like to mix it up. But just a quick overview. So I eat a lot of chicken, fish, avocados, nuts, nut butter, sourdough bread, bananas. I don't eat a lot of vegetables, actually. I eat a lot of salads. I like spinach salad and Caesar salad. I do enjoy vegetables. I just don't prepare many vegetables at my home, but I will certainly eat them if I'm at someone's house or at a dinner. What else? Lots of water, low sodium, low saturated fat. Really try to limit sugar and certainly refined sugar. I have a dessert rule that I give myself where one night a week I can have a dessert, and I'm pretty good about sticking to it. What I found with that rule is I really enjoy that dessert, and I don't get that big, blood sugar spike and then the sugar crash from, coming up and down on sugar all the time. So that's something I definitely recommend. But I'm not an extreme diet guy. I don't think that you should never have sweets or cheat days. You should absolutely have those. That's about all I'm going to say on diet. I will say a few things real quickly on caloric intake and weight loss. So people overcomplicate this one a lot, and I get a lot of questions about this, and there's all kinds of fad diets and programs and 90 days to rock hard abs and all this nonsense. The simple story here is this: if you're consuming more calories than you burn, you gain weight, and if you burn more calories than you consume, you lose weight. So why should you listen to me on this? Well, over an 18-month period, I went from weighing 185 pounds, being at 25% body fat, to being 165 pounds, 15% body fat. In the last couple months, I've put on about 5 pounds of muscle in the last 3 months, maybe 4 months. And so now I'm at 170. My percentage of body fat has gone up a little bit. It's still south of 20. It's maybe 16 or 17%. I don't have a shredded six pack, but I can still see my ab muscles and my stomach looks pretty good, just to give you some perspective on that. So a quick and easy way that you can get a handle on this, or if this is something you're interested in, is go online and search caloric intake calculator. A bunch of different ones will pop up. They're all the same. You'll enter your age, your height, your weight, your gender, and your activity level. Be sure to be honest in the activity level section though. And if you have any kind of question, it's better to go conservative. What do I mean by that? If you think, you're like, oh yeah, I exercise 3 to 4 times a week, maybe put the 2 to 3 times a week, right? Because this will help you get a realistic look at how many calories you're burning on an average day. So this will give you a number. Let's say you want to lose fat. Let's just say, for the sake of simple math, that to stay at the same weight, you need to eat 2,500 calories a day. If you consume 2,000 calories a day and burn 2,500, that's a 500 caloric deficit per day. 7 times 5 is 35, or 3,500. 3,500 calories make 1 pound of fat. If you eat in a 500 caloric deficit every day, in 7 days, you'll lose 1 pound of fat, guaranteed. I've seen it work on a lot of people, and it's worked for me. So there's that. When you're trying to put on muscle, you want to eat in a 250 caloric surplus, right? So let's say you need 2,500 pounds. Let's say you need 2,500 calories to stay at the weight that you're at. You'd want to have 2,750, right? And you'd probably want most of those extra calories to be in the form of lean protein. Quick note on protein. I use whey protein for my protein shakes. I like it far better than soy. I won't get into the whole soy whey debate here. I like it way better than soy for a variety of reasons. You can do your own experimenting, but nothing replaces the real, true whole food protein, right? Lean ground beef, chicken, fish, excellent. And nuts too, and nut butters, which I'm a big fan of. That's about all I'll say on diet, because again, I'm not particularly interested in it and I don't know a lot about it, but there's a lot more. There's plenty of resources on food and diet plans out there that you can explore. And again, this is not medical advice. Any questions or concerns you have, ask your doctor or your nutritionist or your healthcare provider. Let's jump into the strength training, the exercise component. So again, there's a lot of stuff, what they call gym bro science, right? Strength training is really simple. If you want to build muscle, you need to lift to muscular failure. And what's muscular failure? Well, an example of muscular failure would be, let's say I'm on the bench press and I've got a spotter and I'm able to do 4 or 5 repetitions by myself. But by the time I get to that 5th or 6th repetition, I'm having a hard time lifting the weight up. Well, a spotter will help me lift the weight up and then I'll lower it down myself. Help me lift it up, lower it down myself, to the point where I can no longer physically move that weight. At that weight, I can't move it. This is muscular failure. You overload the muscle, and this is what gives you, I believe it's called hypertrophy, which is the muscle growth that you'll see then later in your recovery phase when you're consuming your protein and getting your rest and getting hydrated. So you don't get stronger while you're lifting weights. You get stronger while you're asleep, and that protein synthesis is happening. So lift to failure is the first thing. You don't need to overcomplicate it with 20 million exercises, right? Abs and curls and triceps and all that. You can do, and I would recommend you do what are called compound movements. I basically do 4 exercises: squats, deadlifts, bench press, pull down, and or pull ups. Those will work every major muscle group. They'll help you with form and balance, and you'll get in good shape. Like I've gotten in good shape and gotten some nice muscle definition just using those 4 things. Then I'll head upstairs. I'll do some incline crunches, essentially sit-ups, and maybe some obliques with a 45 pound weight, leaning back and forth. Did you catch that? And some calf raises, right? So you can do isolation exercises, especially if you're trying to sculpt, but you really don't need to, right? And I won't go into a lot here, but because bench press, it's not just getting your chest, it's getting some of your shoulder, it's getting some of your tricep. Pull-ups are incredible. When I started doing pull-ups, I could only do 2 full pull-ups by myself, unassisted with the little weight reduction system they have there. I can now do 8 unassisted. Pull-ups are great. I've also made gains in bench, deadlift, and squats as well. That's about all I'll say on weights in terms of how to weight lift. Why should you weight lift? The way you look is just a nice little bonus, right? Getting chiseled, better muscle definition, less percentage of body fat, looking good. Weightlifting is so good for you. I've heard many doctors talk about how it is literally the fountain of youth. It's the best anti-aging drug we have. What does it do? Improves sleep, reduces depression and anxiety, improves mental cognition, it makes you more efficient in your normal energy usage through the day. You live longer. You reduce every major cause of preventable cause of death, every major disease and preventable cause of death through strength training. It releases dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine. Leg exercises release testosterone. There's just no argument. If you do regular strength training, you absolutely will live a longer, healthier, happy life, and you'll look incredible while you're doing it. So I can't say enough for strength training on a regular basis. Let's switch into cardio. I hate cardio. I'm not a big fan of it. I've recently, because quick nod to my good friend Matt Herder, aka the Spartan, I've recently gotten into running. If you're going to get into running, spend the money and get some good running shoes to avoid the shin splints, knee and lower back pain. Here's my big pitch for running. As much as I hate it, every time I do it, I hate it. Here's my pitch for running. You'll hear people talk about the runner's high, right? They say, oh man, I get this high from running, which is true. They say, oh, it's the endorphins, right? It's the dopamine. It's the serotonin. It's not any of those things. Just read a cool article called The Truth About Runner's High. It's endocannabinoids. Let me say that again. Endocannabinoids. Cannabis-like compounds released in your brain and throughout your body. What does that translate to? Running literally gets you stoned. I won't go on a big thing about smoking weed. I'm clean and sober. Weed hasn't worked for me for a long time, but I remember when I first started smoking weed, I really liked the way it made me feel. I get a similar feeling after running. Well, Paul, how much do I have to run to get high? What I found is 2 to 3 miles at a 5 to 6 mile an hour pace. If you're just starting out, that's going to be intense. But for you experienced runners out there, you know that 5 miles an hour is not fast. It's a jog. It's a trot. So if you can't even do 5 miles an hour, try speed walking. Try jogging at 4 or 3.5. Just get yourself moving. I can't say enough about running and how it makes you feel. I found it particularly useful for my Parkinson's. Here's what it does with the Parkinson's. I can show up to the gym, lift some weights, and start on the treadmill with noticeable tremor in my left arm and some gait difficulty in the left leg, shuffling and such. I run for 30 minutes, get about 2.5 miles in. My legs work perfectly. The gait issue is gone. The tremor is subsided. It may still be there a little bit, but it's noticeably less. And I continue to feel good through the rest of my day. I ran earlier today and I can still feel it. I don't have that runner's high right now, but I'm still feeling lucid and present and in a good mood and calm, but still awake and aware and alert. So I can't say enough about running. So again, find a diet that works for you that's not extreme. Do the caloric intake calculator so you can figure out where you're at. Get a scale if you want, but like my friend Nathan Roberts, who was a cyclist for many years, semi-pro cyclist, he says, don't go off the numbers on the scale, go off the mirror, right? Because my weight has gone up in the last couple months, but it's muscle, not fat, right? And so I look bigger and stronger and better, but I've gained weight. But if I was just going on the numbers of the scale, I'd think, oh my God, I'm getting fat, which I'm not. Well, even though my percentage of body fat's gone up a little bit, but it's negligible. You're probably going to gain a little bit of fat when you try to put on muscle, if you want to put on muscle. Enough said on that. So find a diet that works. Do some strength training, do some running, or swimming or cycling. I also love hiking. There's a lot of activities you can get into. And again, this isn't my opinion. The science is so clear on this. Diet and exercise, good, proper diet and regular exercise radically extends the duration and quality of your life. So if you're not eating right and exercising regularly, you can't possibly be your best self. It's just a fact. So I would put out a challenge to you, if this is something you're struggling with, to get into action in 2026 around this. Let's talk a little bit about supplements. Everybody loves to talk about supplements. So my basic here is, again, I do not sell any of these products. I do not get any ad revenue from any of these people. just your basic little vitamin packet. It's called Pro Vitality from a company called Neolife. Again, I'm not going to get into all of everything of what these are. Just say that this is what I use and I like it. So this is a grain concentrate, a carotenoid complex, an omega-3 plus, and an essential multivitamin and mineral complex. I supplement that with a little Super B, also from Neolife. I've got some ashwagandha. What's ashwagandha good for? So ashwagandha helps reduce cortisol levels. What's cortisol? Cortisol is the stress hormone. It is responsible for feeling stressed out. It also interferes with testosterone. I'm not sure if it's testosterone production. Oh, the release of free testosterone. So you want to keep your cortisol levels low. Terkesterone and Tongat Ali, a couple natural plant supplements that clinical evidence suggests that they help raise testosterone levels by mimicking luteinizing hormone, which is a hormone that helps the testes to release testosterone, or produce it rather. L-theanine is just an amino acid, I believe it's an amino acid, that just helps with calm, clear thinking. Men, get your zinc, vitamin code, great brand, cheap, accessible. Zinc is also super important in testosterone production. Shilajit. If you've never heard of this stuff, it's almost magical. This is a black tar resin that oozes out of the rocks in the Alps, in the Himalayas rather, at 10,000 feet. And it's organic matter that's broken down, plant and animal matter that's broken down and comes out of the rocks. High in fulvic acid, also helps with testosterone, energy, vitality, sleep. Outstanding. And then at night, I take Calm Magnesium. It's non-sedating, it's not gonna knock you out or make you pass out, but it helps your muscles relax, it helps your body relax. Magnesium is good for a lot of things. I'll do a whole nother video on pharmaceutical medications, because I do take some of those, some for mental health and some for the Parkinson's, but I'll do another video on that. So there you have just a brief overview on diet, at least what I eat, and some recommendations on what you could eat, some strength training basics. If you want more on strength training, check out Matt Breesky's A Practical Approach to Strength Training. He was a Princeton strength training coach for years, and he's consulted with the NBA and the NFL. It's an older volume. I think the last edition was 2000, but it's solid and it's got all the basic strength training science. So I think we've covered a little bit on diet, a little bit on exercise, supplements. We'll close out with meditation and mindfulness. I've fought meditation for years. I still go through phases with meditation. I'm really into prayer, and now we're getting more into kind of the faith thing. But prayer and meditation can work together. What I've found helpful in meditation is this. It's not about clearing your mind or not thinking of anything. You're gonna think of things, right? Your mind is going, that monkey mind is going. It's just an opportunity to stop, put everything down, put the devices down, be still, focus on your breathing, and try to clear your mind. How do you do that? You just notice the thoughts when they come, and if you catch yourself spinning out or holding on to them, you let them go. It's a very gradual practice. It's frustrating at first. It takes a lot of time. I'm up to where I can do it for about a 10-minute run. I know guys that do 30 minutes, an hour. To me, that's just insane. But even if you can do 5 minutes, what does meditation do? Lowers resting heart rate, lowers blood pressure, lowers cortisol, improves thinking, improves energy. The science is crystal clear on that. So I wanted to keep this video under 30 minutes. I'm looking at the timer here, we're creeping up on 20. So I just wanted to do a basic overview on diet and exercise, nutrition, supplements, strength training. I'd also recommend swimming, hiking, backpacking, any kind of activity, and I hope this isn't a repeat, I hope I didn't mention this already, any kind of activity like that where you're getting out in nature, right? I enjoy running on the treadmill because it keeps track of all my stats, but I'd prefer to be out in nature trail running. So those are some things I do to keep myself physically fit, sleeping well, virtually no depression, right? And I had horrific depression for years. Depression is basically gone. I had horrific anxiety, and I have mild to moderate tolerable anxiety, like normal stress, life stress anxiety. So those are the things that I've done to both physically transform my physical body, get stronger, build muscle, lose fat, think more clearly, have more energy, sleep better, and just be happier overall. So we'll continue later in another video and talk more about the faith piece, or talk about the faith piece. But again, look at family, fitness, and faith. Family is people you're related to by blood or marriage, but it's also the people you work with, and it's most definitely your friends, your community, the people you go to church with or in clubs with. So important to have that. Definitely look at diet and exercise. If you're not eating right and exercising regularly, you can't be your best self. And then the last piece, find a cosmology, a faith, religious practice that works for you. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, but I want to say thank you again. To my sister Audrey Nell Weeks for hooking me up with this cool little backdrop thing here to add another little layer of legitimacy to the videos here, so you're not looking at my kitchen. Thank you to all of those who subscribed after watching the last video. And please, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button and the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Thanks again, and we've got some better weeks ahead in the future, everybody. Have a good night.